What's going on, guys? Brother Russia here, back with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In today's video, we're going to be taking on the newest EZA stage, which is for the Dragon Ball Heroes. Obviously, the stage had just recently came out, and there was, 8 EZA units, I believe, that are on here. So, you kind of go through all these stages, and the first ones are all super easy. You can kind of just put a Heroes team together, and they'll pretty much just like take care of them all on auto. You don't even have to worry about it. But we got to stage 25 here, and I believe from 25 all the way up you're going to be fighting the AGL Deborah. So this is the team that I'm going to be bringing here. We got the newest Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegito here. And then I brought the rest of them are all going to be tech units just because the Deborah is AGL. So we're going to bring the Super Saiyan Blue Berserk Vegeta, the Golden Cooler, the Great Saiyaman 3 here, and then the Super Saiyan God Trunks, and the Super Saiyan 4 Broly. So these are the units that I'm going to bring. We should be able to beat this on auto relatively easily. Oh, looks like I had miscalculated one of the fights. I think I jumped in it a little bit earlier. But it looks like the stage 25 is going to be the STR Super Mira, and then after Mira is going to be the Deborah. And like I said, the Heroes EZAs, all of them are really good. I haven't had a chance to really try any of them out yet, but you know, just from like what I've seen on paper and everything like that, a lot of these units look like they could be pretty usable. I think probably the two best ones out of the three best out of the batch is probably going to be the physical Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. I think the Demon Goddess Toa is actually going to be really good because she supports pretty much everybody, like regardless of if they're super class or extreme class. And then on top of that, we got the Dark Mask King. I think he's actually going to do really well because he kind of has the mechanic where he does like a life drain essentially. So like the more damage that you do, the more HP you recover, and especially if you build him up with like higher like crits and stuff like that, he can do more damage. And because he does more damage, that in turn actually just ends up being better for you HP wise on how much like HP that you're going to recover. So you kind of build his crit up, and you can actually run him. His perfect linking partner is the Black Mask Saiyan, the AGL one. He just got an EZA as well. So you run the Dark Mask King as a slot 1 unit because he guards and gets defense when he gets hit. And then you run the Black Mask Saiyan in slot 2 because he's going to be your damage dealer. So I think those I think like that combination together is actually really good. But besides that, the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, he is, I mean, they made him like outstandingly well. You know, granted, unfortunately, he's still kind of limited to a Heroes team or a crossover team. But I mean, with this new Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegeta that just came out, they gave him a perfect linking partner. And because they gave him a perfect linking partner, he does, I mean, he's shooting out, hell, I think, from some of these that I've seen, like just by doing these runs, I've been seeing him shoot out like 10 million, 11 million, 12 million attack stats. And that's just from him being on being linked up with the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. And then on top of that, he's got the counter as well, so he can counter supers. And I mean, they just did surprisingly enough, they did really well with the Heroes EZAs compared to like some of the other EZAs that they've recently done for some of the units. So I kind of hope that they keep this trend going, like moving forward, because it's really unfortunate of the fact that they, like some of the EZAs, they just, I feel like they could do better by the community with some of them. You know, like we're kind of looking at you Goku Black, but I just don't know. I don't get it. Like, I'm not sure if they're afraid of making the units too good. Like, if they're gonna release another counterpart of this unit, and obviously it's gonna be better, and they just don't want to. I don't know what's the best way to say it. Like, they don't want to make it to where someone's not gonna like summon for the newest unit because, you know, like, hey, this EZA is so good, like, I don't need the newest unit because I got this one. Which, I mean, I understand because it is a gacha game, so their whole point is to make it to where you're gonna spend money on it. But at least make the units, like, somewhat runnable. Because, I mean, there are a lot of units that are... I mean, even after EZAs, there are some units that you're still just kind of like, whatever. Especially like a lot of like sub EZAs. They're kind of hit or miss. Like sometimes they'll be good, and then other times they'll just be meh. Like, yeah, you know, they're kind of like meta relevant now, but at the same time they're just in a spot where you're probably never going to use them anyway. So I don't know. I mean, as new units come out, obviously they're going to have to keep, you know, making the older units a little bit more usable to kind of keep them in the meta. But I'm just wondering, like, what are they going to do once they EZA all these units and they're finally done with all of them? Because we're going to get to a point where all of the, you know, 2015, 16, 17, 18 units, they're going to all be EZA'd, and then they're going to be working on the newest units that are coming out. So I don't know. Hopefully by that time we can... Maybe they'll make like some of the old units that they haven't touched yet. Maybe they'll make some of them runnable. But the ones that have got EZAs already, it's kind of unfortunate because obviously the meta has changed drastically since they've got their EZAs. I'm trying to think of like, you know, like say AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He got a EZA, I mean, years and years and years ago. So, like, he's at the point now where, like, do they re-EZA him, or do they just kind of chalk it up and say, hey, you know, you've had your time, time to kind of bring new units into the fold? So, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? You know, in the comment section, let me know, like, would you rather see them re-EZA some of these units, or do you think they've had their time to shine in the meta at one point, and then they gave them another chance? Alright, so my dog actually ran in my room and knocked out my cord while I was recording, so I'm gonna cut out the previous part where he ended up running in and doing all that, so I apologize about that. But we ended up getting the stage completed. Here's stage 30 all done, so there's all your medals and all the extra orbs that you got and a couple extra Kais. But realistically, you guys shouldn't have too much issue with beating the heroes EZA, especially if you're just using a full heroes team. You can just run it on auto as long as you don't bring any just don't bring any like STR units when you're fighting the Deborah, and you probably wouldn't struggle at all. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys like the content, please consider hitting that like button and consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.